The discovery of the neutron is an extraordinary development in atomic physics in the first half of the 20th century. Before that, protons and electrons had already been discovered. In 1911, Ernest Rutherford developed an excellent model of the atom based on the gold foil experiment of Geiger and Marston, called the Rutherford model of the atom. In his given model, he concluded that atoms had their mass and positive electric charge concentrated in a very tiny nucleus. But at that time, there was a curiosity in every mind that which particle would be inside the nucleus. Initially, the nucleus was viewed as composed of combinations of protons and electrons, but that hypothesis presented several experimental and theoretical contradictions, which I have discussed in our last episode on nuclear physics. The proton-electron theory failed due to the properties of free electrons. Therefore, in 1920, Rutherford suggested that the electron does not exist in the nucleus in the free state, but is bound with the positively heavy nucleus. In 1930, Weather-Bothe and Herbert Baker in Gießen, Germany found that if the energetic alpha particles fell on certain light elements such as beryllium, boron or lithium, then unusually penetrating radiation is produced. It was observed that the penetrating radiation was not influenced by an electric field, and hence it was thought to be gamma radiation. But the radiation was quite more penetrating than any gamma rays known, and so the details of experimental result were difficult to interpret. 2 years later, Juliet and Curie studied the same reaction in Paris. They made an arrangement in which the penetrating radiation was allowed to fall on a hydrogen-containing compound like paraffin wax. They observed that the penetrating radiation ejected are protons from the paraffin wax, which was found to be very energetic, having energy around 5 MeV. But they misinterpreted the phenomenon as a scattering of gamma rays on protons, similar to the scattering of gamma rays on electrons in Compton effect. On hearing of the Paris results, neither Rutherford nor James Chadwick believed the gamma ray hypothesis. At that time, they were working at the Cavendish Laboratory, University of Cambridge. Chadwick quickly performed a series of experiments showing that the gamma ray hypothesis could not really be fitted with the Paris results. Chadwick repeated the creation of radiation using beryllium and alpha particles, and the radiation was allowed to fall on paraffin wax. Just like the Paris experiment, the radiation scattered some protons. Chadwick measured the range of these protons and also measured how the radiation impacted the atoms of various gases. He used several target materials like hydrogen, helium, lithium, etc. on the way of radiation, and observed that the particles ejected from hydrogen behaves like protons with a speed up to 3.2 times 10 raised to power 7 meter per second. On the basis of his observations, he concluded that if the ejection of a proton is due to the scattering of a photon on the nucleus, then to speed up the proton up to 3.2 times 10 to the power 7 meter per second, a 52 MeV photon is needed. This exceeded all known energy of photons emitted by nuclei. All difficulties disappeared when he assumed that the incident particles are neutral particles with a mass equal to the mass of a proton. Chadwick called this neutral particle neutron and published its finding in a letter to Nature Journal in 1932, on the basis of which he got the Nobel Prize in 1935. The discovery of neutron led to the presently accepted hypothesis for the constitution of the nucleus. According to this hypothesis, every nucleus consists of a proton and neutrons, and the total number of two types of particle is equal to the mass number A. There are many facts that are in support of the proton-neutron hypothesis. One of the important facts which support the proton-neutron hypothesis is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in quantum mechanics. If the neutron has to be within the nucleus, then its de Broglie wavelength had to be of the order of size of the nucleus. Since the size of a nucleus is in the order of 1 Fermi, so the uncertainty in the position of neutron inside a nucleus is delta x equal to 1 Fermi equal to 10 raised to power minus 15 meter. Now if delta p is the uncertainty in momentum of the neutron, then from the uncertainty principle, delta p times delta x is greater than equal to h cross upon 2. That is, delta P is greater than or equal to h cross upon 2 times delta x, and after calculation we can get delta P equal to 98.7 MeV per C. Now from the formula E square is equal to Pc square plus m naught C square whole square, the energy of the neutron corresponding to this uncertainty in momentum is E equal to under root delta P square plus m naught C square whole square, and after calculation we can get E equal to 945 MeV. And the kinetic energy of the neutron will be K equal to E minus m naught C square, and that can be calculated as 5.4 MeV. And finally, the speed of the neutron is calculated as V equal to under root 2K upon m naught. Here m naught is the mass of the neutron, and it is calculated as 0.107 times C, where C is the speed of light. Since the kinetic energy of the neutron is few MeV and the speed of the neutron is around 1% of the speed of light, so it is possible to have free neutrons to be contained in the nucleus. So this is all about the discovery of the neutron and proton-neutron hypothesis of nuclear composition. In the next episode of this series, we will talk about the nuclear landscape. So keep watching EV Gyan. Thank you.